Then, now parents and guardians over 60 years are vulnerable to illnesses that come with the older age, and this takes up most of their lifetime savings. In response to this, CIC Group has come up with a service and are now registering and accepting senior citizens with pre-existing conditions such as chronic, psychiatric and congenital diseases, as well as HIV and AIDS and other related conditions. Today in the studio, we're joined by Jane Wanjiru, who is the pension manager at CIC Life Assurance. Ms. Wanjiru, thank you very much for joining us here at Metropole Television.
Thank you, Simba, for the opportunity to be with you.
Anytime.
Yes.
Let's, and just before we went on air, I was telling you how insurance is a very important aspect of any person within an economy, but then you find that most people do not take this insurance. Let's address that first, before now we tell people exactly why this specific product that you're trying to push in the market is very, very important. In your experience, and I know you have experience that spans over 26 years in this specific industry, why haven't we clocked constant double-digit figures, especially when it comes to that insurance uptake within the country, either life or medical?
Okay, thank you, Simba, and for that very varied question of great concern.
Yes.
And one of the things I would with the raw uptake is in terms of awareness. Are we able to create the awareness of the needs for insurance?
Yes.
I believe insurance should be one of the basic units or subjects that is taught at school at that level, so that as we are growing up, we are able to be made aware that there is risks. Because insurance is all about understanding the risk,
yes,
identifying it, knowing what, if you encounter that risk, what are the consequences, and in most cases we look at the financial consequences of that risk. Then once you have identified, then you'll be able to now look for or know what you need to have in form of insurance.
Yes. Because
risks are different, and they are different at different stages of our life, and depending on what we are doing.
Pretty much. Are you saying that, well, you're mentioning a very important point, by the way, that while there is a lacking aspect of this education, that should we introduce it in the syllabus that you have to mitigate the risks within the economy? Because we've seen majority of the top performing economies, the insurance uptake is even up to the levels of 50+%. Is that what is lacking within the Kenyan economy?
That is definitely what is lacking.
Yes.
Because once you are not aware of a risk, you are also not able to work forward or be able to provide for it.
Yes.
Because providing for the risk is that you just need to have today's minimum premium or some premium that can be able to cover you for
yes,
that particular risk.
Yes. Are we therefore recognizing, I'm sorry to cut you short, are we therefore recognizing that the products are there, because we're going to talk about this new product,
yes,
that the prices are there, that can be sort of resonate with everybody within the economy? Yes. It's just the education aspect that is missing.
The education aspect is really so much missing.
Yes.
And then when we are able to meet the customer with education, and then we are the provider of that solution,
yes,
then we are good to go.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Good. Now, you're introducing a fast, and we've not seen majority of insurance companies do this, and you're introducing it at a very critical time, a time where we know that the COVID-19 pandemic is with us here, and majority of those who are predisposed, especially to this, are the elderly. Now let's talk about this new product. What is the thinking behind it?
The thinking behind our thought is that CIC, we are a very innovative company.
Yes.
Actually, dynamism and innovation is part of our principle.
Yes.
So every time we are on the look and looking at the needs of the people, of the citizen, what is this that they need at a particular time, yes, at a particular stage of life? You will appreciate that 60 and above is another unique stage of life, and we just work hard to ensure that we understand what are the needs of that particular age group and come up to take care of that.
Yes.
Yes.
Pretty much. But then let's look at exactly who is eligible to take up this. You've said that they are for anybody who's above 60 plus, isn't it? Yes, the elderly within the community. What conditions are you looking at? Is it any other condition that they might have? Or there are specific ones that you're looking at that you can cover?
Okay, in our mind, we are
Yes.
thinking about what are the health conditions for that particular population.
Yes.
And we'll agree that the onset of chronic conditions is very high as we age, because of course it's a natural process. And those conditions that were just dying,
Yes.
it's the time like they receive their call now
I
to
see.
really come on the
I see.
service.
I see.
So that is what we are looking at to ensure that we are trying to do as much as we can
Yes.
to also incorporate that. And I can tell you for sure it is to an attractive point, because you know when you are starting something and it's a concept again in the market,
Yes.
you need to start in a sure and a planned way,
Yes.
or a phased way of dealing with this.
Yes.
But
Interesting, yes.
Yes.
And I'm sorry to cut you short again.
Yeah.
Interesting is that you're targeting the elderly citizens within the economy. How much are they neglected, if I may ask you that?
Oh, that's a big question and a big concern.
Yes.
Maybe first of all, as a part of also educating you and our audience
Yes.
about this population we are talking about, issue of neglect comes under what we call elder abuse. And UN has even set aside a specific date where we are able to create awareness about elder abuse. This happens on the 15th of June every year.
Yes.
Because of that concern, we need to be able to create awareness so that the population, the generations, everyone can understand where does abuse come in. And there are quite many types of abuse. There's neglect is one of them, economic abuse,
Yes.
Physical, social abuse, and many others. So we need to bring them together to the awareness so that people could be perpetuating that without the knowledge. So there is need for awareness.
Yes.
Remember, these older persons were our young persons one day. So it is like Simba in the next 30 years, if I
30
can
years,
guess
yes,
by your face.
Yes.
So
wow. You got it right.
You can imagine now Simba
Yes.
of 30 years to come.
Yes.
Yes.
Isn't it? I need to start safeguarding myself, isn't it? So let's talk about that, therefore.
Yes.
Let's look into the ones and twos of this specific product. Let's talk about the cost. If you're pegging it on an elderly person within the economy, then cost really has to be a factor. Let's address that this morning. What is the cost implication?
Okay. I may not want to go straight to the cost.
Yes,
And
yes.
let's first of all build up a case.
Pretty much.
To understand why it would be that, to be at a certain cost.
Yes.
Aging is a process. So you do not wake up today, you are 30, assuming, and you are 60 on the same day. There's a journey of
There's
30
a
years.
journey to
So
that,
what
yes.
needs to be done is that you are also planning for your journey at the point that you are 60.
I see.
So that you do not wake up to tomorrow and then we show you at 60, this is the cost for health care. You'll be shocked because you had not planned. So our idea is that we want to prepare people to start planning for that need of health care at that particular point at
Yes,
60.
yes.
Otherwise, if you look at that instant without taking action, it will end up looking very exaggerated.
Isn't it?
Yes.
So is this product targeting people who are not yet at 60 but need to wake up to the reality that they're gonna get there, and then these conditions will start streaming in?
In fact, you are very right, Simba.
Yes.
We are targeting people who are not yet 60.
Yes.
We want to show them how their life will also be at 60 and the cost of health care. At the same time, we are also targeting looking at the generations, like maybe the generation Z is the
Yes.
one now that is joining the job market,
Yes.
your generation, so to speak. And you look at it and find out that at around age 60, I'll be having a responsibility of taking care of my parent or my guardian. What is this that I can start doing now?
Now, isn't it?
So
Yes.
that my target is to build a fund that I can meet the health care needs of my guardian, my parent. At the same time, you are also putting aside something for yourself. Because if you also forget yourself,
Yes.
you'll get to 60 without knowing, while you are doing so much about caring for others without putting you in that position.
Yes.
At the same time, those who are already at 60, we are saying we are still ready for them, but only that now we'll be looking at the situation at then, yeah, where the cost now will also have its good share of implications.
Yes.
Yes.
Good. I want to start contributing for my elderly parents. What is the cost? Let's talk about the numbers.
Okay, if you want to start contributing for your elderly parent, what we need to know is that for how long do you want to put in?
Yes.
Maybe I just can give you an estimate. If you wanted to for a period of maybe around 20 years, 30 years, to save towards 5 million,
yes,
you may be putting something close to 2,000 a month, because it is growing. This fund is being invested,
yes,
so it will grow. You can assume at the point that you are 60, if you have a fund of about 5 million, for sure it will take you to the next
you can
number of years.
Isn't it? You can comfortably
yes,
say
yes,
that should I get sick, I'm comfortable by just walking to hospital.
Yes.
Isn't it? And get
I have
treated.
taken care of that.
Yes.
Yes, but if you came at 60, and we are saying you may need to put a fund of 5 million,
yes,
what will happen is you'll go away saying insurance is unaffordable, it can never be reached, it is unrealistic. But what is unrealistic? It's because you did not plan early enough.
That's it, isn't it?
Yes.
All right, I'm still on those numbers this morning as well.
Yes.
So for somebody who's already working,
yes,
you have to decide maybe how many years you want to put it in, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes. And then the cost implication then will reflect.
Yes.
But is there a cap? Is there a ceiling to how many years that you can put in? Because we're talking about life insurance, medical insurance in this sense.
There's no cap, really.
There's no cap.
It is you who set up your cap.
Yes.
At least minimum, let's say you are targeting at 60,
yes,
is when you want to start
yes,
accessing that particular cover.
Pretty much.
Insurance,
a
yes.
very, very important question as well.
Yes.
Beneficiaries, because I might be putting it for myself.
Yes.
Because, when it's a medical insurance cover, can I add beneficiaries to that specific cover as well? And say, well, there's nobody in my family,
yes,
or direct family who's really in that need of it right now.
Yes.
Can't somebody be another beneficiary to it?
Okay, anyone can also now, you can put in your beneficiaries.
I see.
Because I believe by that time now you'll be having a family,
yes,
if it is not already there.
Yes.
But what we do is that we progressively work on the changing circumstances in your life.
I see.
So that you cannot, when you are planning for yourself alone, it's not the same as when you are planning for maybe 3 members of the family.
Yes.
So it is also progressive. You don't enter in a static approach that I start with 2,000 and then expect to move on like that. You
yes,
need to continue building it up so that you are sure you have built enough kitty for yourself and for the dependents.
Pretty much.
Yes.
All right. Now, let's talk about the adoption or the uptake of medical insurance within the Kenyan economy. What do you rate it at a time when there's a bigger stress also from the government on this affordable health care within the economy? You like to think that the numbers will be up because of the stress from the government?
Okay, the number will be up.
Yes.
Because, providing for health coverage needs quite a number of parties or
yes,
players. So there's the government, there's also the private sector, where now the insurance we're coming in.
Yes.
So we each is playing their role in their specific space. And for now, the uptake for health insurance, I think awareness we need to create a
yes,
lot of it. First, let's appreciate where COVID has left us as an economy. We have kind of had the destabilization, isn't it? So we want to look for catalysts that will make sure that we get back to economic productivity. A healthy nation is also a productive nation.
Pretty much.
So for that, we need to be all up and planning. How do we manage this catalyzation process? As a government, as a private sector players, if we have to talk about economic recovery.
Yes.
Yes.
Pretty much, isn't
Yeah.
it? All right. Now, for somebody who wants to actually start taking up this product today, What do they need to do? How do they get on board? Because that's also a very important question.
Okay.
Yes.
For someone who wants to get that insurance today,
Yes.
they are very much welcome at CIC, because at CIC we provide options or covers for quite a wide spectrum, because
Yes.
we have to look at where are you coming from. You could be coming as an individual, you could be coming as a corporate. We have solutions for that. You could also be coming like an SME, so we have a particular package for the SMEs.
Yes.
Package. You could now also be coming now as somebody who is approaching retirement.
Yes.
Yes.
Pretty much.
Yes.
Civic education is really very important. Anytime we introduce a new product within the insurance industry,
Yes.
you have to be heavy on that implementation process. And because it's a new product, I would like to know exactly what we expect to see from CIC as this product really routes to take effect within the economy.
At CIC, our vision is that, especially with the product, our vision is that we want to be a key player.
Yes.
In ensuring that in this decade, the decade 2020-2030,
Yes.
is the decade of health aging, and that is what has been declared by World Health Organization. So as we want to be part and pioneer of ensuring that that is taking place, and in so doing, we are also empowering a healthy nation and building to the economic development of our country.
Pretty much. Before I ask you for your projection on this very, very specific product, it comes at a time when everybody is going through the COVID-19 pandemic. I keep on asking different players in different industries whether
Yes.
the COVID-19 pandemic was a blessing to your industry now, because any other person you're telling about this product will say, well, we've taken lesson from COVID-19. We need to insure. Is it a blessing for you, or maybe it's a little setback? Because now people will also tell you, well, our economic ability has been reduced by the COVID-19 pandemic. Yes.
Okay. COVID-19, I think needs to be, just a minute.
Sorry for that.
COVID-19 is both a plus and a minus.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So for a progressive entity, you look at the earnings from it, and then the opportunities that are also coming into place.
Yes.
One thing I think as a nation, we have also learned that we can get to a position where we need to be taking care of our health and putting aside an emergency fund for such unknown, could be pandemics, could be anything else. But now for COVID, the emergency perspective is very important.
Yes.
And within the emergency provision is that whatever one puts aside in form of savings should be able to cater for the health insurance. That is very important. The financial shock we have gotten is no joke.
Yes.
We need to look at it.
This is a direct one,
Yes.
and especially when we win this one on social media that you were actually going to be in the studio today. They said, it's easier for me to take up a product with majority of the insurance companies within the country.
Yes.
But in cases where I'm going to get the benefits, in case of the passing on of maybe the elderly, then it becomes a difficult process. Can she speak to that?
Okay, I believe you are talking about the claims processing.
Yes, the claims
and
processing.
I want to
Yes.
talk about the claims processing
On
or
that
payment
specific product, isn't it?
on that specific product.
Yes.
And in the CIC perspective. As we recognize the need to also meet that expense because it's a financial cost.
Yes.
So we, for any death related, especially for a cost that has to meet the funeral expense,
Yes.
we pay it within 48 hours on the basis of just getting the burial permit, and we pay. We actually are able to even make the payment process very, very easy.
Yes.
Because after, of course, confirming that we are paying to the right beneficiary, even an M-Pesa payment can be made.
Yes.
That is how fast we can be able to sort out that. Yes.
Pretty much. A directional again, but I just want you to respond to it directly.
Yes.
Because now people really would like for this ones to be answered. Yes. That's like for someone who's getting a health insurance cover for their elderly family members, what factors should they look out for?
Okay, thank you. A good one.
Yes.
What factors one needs to look at is the attractiveness of the coverage on the chronic condition.
I see.
Okay, because that is the specific need of that particular
Yes.
client or the older person. So you need to look at that package. How much is the chronic condition covered up to a good level?
Yes.
Okay. What is the cost? What is the panel of providers like?
Yes.
Because one of the things that hinder actually access to healthcare is distance. Another person gets a lot of discomfort traveling far to go and get that cover.
Yes.
So you also need to check at where is the nearest point or panel that one can be able to go and access that. And of course, the presence of the provider that you are in touch. We have a 24-hour, hotline where you can call anytime and you're able to get that help. And we also take it even further. Remember, this time of the COVID, the senior citizens or our seniors are very uncomfortable in terms of movement.
Yes.
So we even have CIC Dawa Murangoni, where you can
yes.
contact our customer service and they connect you with a pharmacy that can deliver actually that medication up to the doorstep.
Yes.
And I think that is the best service you can give to our seniors so that they are comfortable to be able to receive their medication at the door.
Pretty much.
In fact, we also embrace home-based care. This is the point that also seniors, we want to protect them and ensure that they are really not interacting a lot with the rest of the younger generations because of course, you understand their predisposition at this particular point.
Pretty much.
Yes.
All right, as we come to the end of this conversation this morning, I can't let you go without asking you this. What we saw in 2020 was a lot of policy withdrawals and surrenders as guys were trying to protect whatever little that they had in income. Do we expect for that situation to change? Has it changed? And what projection are you looking out for this particular product? Because you've actually just introduced it at half year when we're just starting the final 6 months of this year.
Okay. We expect for those so far who are stable, the withdrawals because people did not have an emergency kitty.
I see.
Okay.
Yes.
I believe one year down the line and understanding COVID, now issue of creating an emergency kitty will really come into place. In fact, it will be priority number one.
Isn't it? It was just a major lesson for majority of the people.
Yes. There are times you are forced to run.
Yes.
So that one, for the policies that maybe people came, withdrawing and all that, taking some partial values.
Yes.
We are hopeful that people now, after understanding what it means, will be able to again reinstate them with time. We are also being very considerate because we are just managing the situation and asking the members, we can hold up to that point. Once you recover, please remember your purpose for having that policy has not come to an end.
Yes.
You still have an objective
yes.
to have the policy in place. So we expect people will come back again, one, very humbled and learned, that they'll be able to do proper financial planning in terms of, segmenting the financial needs.
Yes.
What is short term will be put in the right docket for short term. What is long term will also be put in the right docket. And that is where most of these policies fall in place.
Pretty much.
Yes.
Finally, projection for this specific product before the end of this year?
Before the end of the year, we are hopeful to have quite a number of people. Remember, first year you do a lot of creating awareness creation.
Yes.
After that, now you get people on board.
Pretty much.
Yes.
Jane Wanjiru, Pension Manager, CIC Life Assurance, thank you very much for taking your time to come to Metropole Television to address this particular subject. And guess what? Should I get a group of people, because there are so many actually, even as you walk out of the studio, you're going to meet them asking you those questions, I'll bring them to you. And you can also talk to her directly at Metropole